Okay guys, so this is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, I will post the link in the description box below. I am making 3 DIYs using one Jot folder. So now I'm on to DIY number 2. So for DIY number 2, I wanted to make a sort of a tabletop light up lamp that just sits on top of an end table, and I wanted to also have another feature to it, and that would be to be able to decorate the top inside of the lamp. So for this DIY, I will be using 2 of the 8x10 picture frames from the Dollar Tree. These are the ones that have a rounded edge and it looks like a faux wood around the frame. I'll also be using 2 of these wooden crates. I have some chalk paint, Chalk It Up chalk paint, some gigantic craft sticks, the front of the folder, of the Jot folder, and an LED push light. So all of these items came from the Dollar Tree. So now let's jump into this tutorial. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so to begin the DIY, I'm going to first remove the stands in the back of both of the photo frames. Then I will take my cover of my Jot folder and I'm going to cut it out so that it fits inside of the photo frame. And then with the other photo frame, I'm going to take my Chalk It Up chalkboard paint and I'm going to apply quite a few coats to make it nice and thick so that I can't see to the inside of the lamp. Guys, I made a boo-boo. I actually placed the backing back onto the picture frame, but I don't want to do that because I am making a lamp and I want the light to go through to the Jot folder on the front. And if you have the backing, then you're not going to see that. So all you're gonna do is just place the Jot folder on the inside and then fold your little metal clips down. Okay, so with my second photo frame, I removed the paper, and with this one, I am going to keep the backing on. Being that I am going to be painting the glass in the chalkboard paint, I really want a nice thick coverage with my chalkboard paint, but I don't want any light going through to the chalkboard. So by keeping the backing in place, it's going to block any light, and this way the light is only going to be pretty much seen through the front. So as you can see, I have painted 1 coat of the chalkboard paint. I probably will do quite a few more coats just to get a nice thickness of the chalkboard paint on the glass. But I did remove the glass from the paint because sometimes that glass moves around a bit, and this way the glass is completely covered and you won't see any clear glass. And also I don't have to worry about getting any of the chalkboard paint on the frame, so it's just much easier. So I'm going to continue adding coats of the chalkboard paint to this, and once it's dry, I will place it back in the frame. So I have inserted the glass back into the frame. I love how it looks, especially with this frame. To make chalkboards this way, I think it just looks really farmhouse and rustic. But now I'm going to attach the frames together, and so how I'm going to do that is I'll take one of the frames, and then using my crates, I'll just add some glue to the corner here and glue on the one crate. I'll do the same on the other end and glue the second crate. Once I have those glued in place, I'll take my other frame, and with the back of that frame, I'll glue it to this side. And that is going to make the structure of the lamp. So at the moment, my piece is laying down on its side, but I just wanted to show you the crates are glued in, and now both frames are attached to the crates. And I didn't mention it, but I placed my crates so that the opening is facing up. This way, if I want to add any candles inside or any greenery, I can also place some floral sponge in there and make a really pretty arrangement on top. So now moving on to the sides, you can see that I have laid down my gigantic craft sticks, and I used 9 for each side, but I do need to cut these down. I already did cut one down, and I would just recommend laying your craft sticks in place and then doing it one by one, just to make sure that your top and bottom pieces are going to fit nicely with all the other ones in between. So here I've cut one down, and I mean, this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because this is more of a rustic piece. If it is off a little bit, it's still gonna look really nice. So now I'm gonna go ahead, cut the rest of my sticks and glue them in place, and then I'll do the same to the other side. Okay, so I have closed off both sides of my tabletop lamp, and now I only have a couple steps left to go. Well, 3 if I include decorating it, but 2 to actually complete the lamp itself. And maybe only 1. If you decide you want to make this for yourself, you may want to leave these craft sticks just as they are. I kind of like it. I was having a really hard time deciding whether I wanted to leave them in the natural wood or if I wanted to have them painted white like a shiplap, or if I wanted to water down some burnt umber and make it like a stain so that it looked like one solid wood piece. Well, I decided to go with the burnt umber, and just because I think that it'll look really nice as a full solid wood piece. So that's what I'm gonna do. So this is just the Dollar Tree acrylic burnt umber. I will water this down, so I do 1 to 1, 1 part paint, 1 part water, and then I will paint both sides of my tabletop lamp. So everything is painted, the sides are now done, and they match really nicely with the frames. So I'm really happy with that. I also went ahead and painted the insides of the crates as well as the sides here. Now I didn't paint the inside of the lamp. I left that just as it is because you're not going to be really seeing that. The reason I went ahead and painted the crates is because if I just want to add a couple of candles and a little bit of floral, and you can see the crates, at least it'll match a little bit better with the rest of the lamp. So now there's two things I have left to do, but one I'm going to do off camera because I am going to add some floral sponge and then add some floral to this piece, and you'll see that in the final reveal when the lamp is turned on. But I do need to add my LED push light to the inside of the lamp. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so that you can see better. So this is the push light LED from the Dollar Tree. I have one out of the package, and all I'm gonna do is I'm going to glue it right underneath those two crates, just like that. And I'm only gluing the backing of the push light. This way, if I need to change the batteries, I just unscrew it and then I have easy access to changing it, and then I just have to screw it back on. With this one here, I don't have the backing. I just took it off another one to test the lamp. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue, and I'm only using the hot glue to glue that on. I'll glue that to the inside of, or to the back of this photo frame, and then I will add the florals and show you what it looks like all put together in the final. And moving on to the third and final DIY using the Jot folder. This is the cutout that I cut from the back of the folder. I'll be making another decor piece that again will also be functional. So all of the items are from the Dollar Tree. I have some white and black acrylic paint. I have some Mod Podge, and this is gloss. And I'll be using it to glue down the deer head. I'm not sure how it works with this type of plastic, so I'm gonna try it out. If it doesn't stay, then I will just use some hot glue. I have a stencil that says it's the most wonderful time of the year. Now the reason I'm using this stencil is because it has the word time. And so in this piece, I will be using a Dollar Tree alarm clock, and I just thought it would be really, really fitting to go with this. So I will be using that on my decor piece. And then for the main part of the decor piece is this love sign. Now this one here, I've had since last year, but I've seen some people hauling these at Dollar Tree already as the Christmas stuff is out and the Valentine stuff is already starting to be put on the shelves, and I did notice that they have these signs out again. So if you don't have one of these, now is the time to pick one of these up if you want to make this DIY. So that's everything. Let's jump into this tutorial. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so starting with my love sign, I'm going to be removing this ribbon at the top, and this is what you can use to hang this sign. Now, I'm not quite sure. I might be using this again, but if I don't use this, then I'll just take a piece of nautical rope, or actually jute twine, and I'll just string that through instead. All of these DIYs that I've made with this folder, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be putting these in my travel trailer. I did have a 1950s theme in there when we first renovated it, but now I'm kind of leaning towards a cabin woodsy feel. So these pieces I think will work really great in there. And I know a lot of times I say that when I make a piece, I'll post a picture or show it, and I don't always get around to it, and I apologize for that, but sometimes it's just the timing, and then to get another DIY done, I use the time I have for that. But I definitely would love to show you, once I place these all in my travel trailer, at least some pictures or a quick little video showing you how I've placed them in there. So the first thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to remove the ribbon, and then I will be removing this metal heart. Of course, I'm going to be keeping this because I can always use it for another DIY. Once I've done that, I'm going to take my black acrylic paint and paint the sun. So my board has dried, and I've now just laid out everything the way I want it to look on my board. So I've placed the stag head at the bottom. My clock I will place in the center. Now I've turned it over so that I can trace out the size of the clock. I'm going to be cutting this out so that I can place the clock on the inside, probably go about halfway, and then glue that in place so that I have access to the back to change the batteries and adjust the time. And then at the very top, I will place my stencil, and with my white acrylic paint, I will stencil "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year." Okay everyone, so I've just stepped into my travel trailer, as the 3 DIYs that I made for in here. Now it's not a very large space, but it really did fill up the area and really give it a nice warmth to the space. So I have been converting my 1950s theme over to a more rustic farmhouse woodsy feel for my trailer. So these were a few items that I added to it. Now this is the first DIY that is in part 1, and I will post the description to that video in the or I'll post the link, sorry, to that video in the description box below. And then moving on to DIY number 2, which was the deer lamp. And I really love how this turned out. I will try to get a picture or a clip when it is a little bit more darker so that you can see it. But I found that in order to see the actual piece really nice, I had to show it during the day, or else once it gets a little bit darker in here, you really can't see it. So here's the other side with the chalkboard. This is going to be so much fun, leaving little messages or posting the day's menu on here just a little fun decor piece to play around with. And at the top, I added some Dollar Tree florals. I wish I had a little bit more, but I absolutely love these florals. These, I believe, I can't remember the name that was on the little tag that came with the bunches of flowers, but they remind me of the Queen Anne lace, I believe it's called. But these are in gold, silver, and red, and I think it really looks nice with this piece. One thing I would recommend is once you have glued your craft sticks to the side, I then went and tipped the whole piece over and then just went all the way down on the inside on both sides of the craft stick, because once you do paint them, they do tend to curl a little bit, but by adding that glue, it's going to keep them nicely in place. And I absolutely love this lamp. It's definitely something that I will be able to decorate throughout the seasons. And then the last DIY, well, here's a couple more of the pillows that I just placed at the little dinette. But the third DIY is my wall clock decor piece, and I love how it turned out. I think it really looks nice. It fits perfectly in this space. Right now, sorry about this area here as we have to get a door. But right now I have a clock that's over here that I will be removing to put a smaller TV there. So I just figured this was a cute little piece to kind of fill this space and still have a little clock in case I don't have my phone on me or my wristwatch. But it goes really nicely in here with the black and white, and then of course with the stag head. So I'm super happy with how that turned out. And that will do it for these 3 DIYs using a Jot folder. Well guys, these were so much fun to make, and they really were easy to make. And now I will be able to enjoy them in my travel trailer, and I just love how they turned out. I hope you did as well. Let me know in the comments below which one of the 3 was your favorite, and I really hope that you will like this video, share the video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love it if you did. As always guys, you take care of yourselves, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.